second. I'll join. Okay, that's done. Okay, so if you have any questions, since I'll be on other tab, sometimes I can't view your messages. So if I'm not replying to your messages, you can actually unmute and speak. Okay, don't feel shy. Be brave enough. Okay, to ask questions. All right. So today's class is all about introduction to web development. All right. So in web development, so the most basic one is actually HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. All right. So before that, before we get into our topic today, let me introduce myself briefly. All right, my name is actually Kani Selvan, so you can just call me Kani. All right, I'm a software developer. Okay, I'm currently working for a bank as an Android developer. All right, so this is my contact details. And all right, so actually I have more than 4 years experience in web and mobile app development. All right, so I'm very proficient in front end actually. Front, if you see most of my skills at technical skills at front end. All right, because I'm actually a React developer and currently I'm also doing Vue. All right, for backend, I know Laravel and also I have some experience in Express.js, but uh, I'm I much prefer front end. All right, but still I'm learning Laravel, advanced courses and all that to be a full stack developer. And for at my full-time job, I'm doing an Android native application. So if you know uh, Hong Leong, all right, I'm working for Hong Leong Bank. So in Hong Leong Bank, if you have an account in Hong Leong Bank, then you'll be using a Connect app. So I'm the Android developer, one of the Android developer. All right. So all these latest features, I'm one of part of it, lah. All right. So previously I did that was my first job actually, and previously I was in engineer's lab where that's actually a software house where I was developing website, mobile apps. So since that's a software house, I was involved in multiple projects. And previously, I had a startup company as well. Even now, I have a startup called Ensign Boy. All right. So this Ensign Boy is doing all these software and also we are also doing tutoring and all that. All right. So I have also experience in teaching web development for IGSC, all right, in the international schools, and also I'm also teaching robotics and so on. So, and also I've graduated from Petronas University. So, anyone here from Petronas University? Oh, there are 5 of them to join. Okay. Wow, quite many today. All right. So, anyone here from the yes is forward, actually, for my last question. All right. Is everyone here from Petronas University? I think no one. All right. So, let me move on. Okay. So, let me introduce to web development. So, before I begin the class, let me ask how many of you knows what is web development? I mean, have some experience in HTML, CSS, or JavaScript, or even have attempted to do some projects. Is anyone here has any experience with web development? Even have tried? Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's in Wix or WordPress or anything. Have you ever tried web development before? If possible, you can type something like this. Yes, and what you use, maybe yes, WordPress, something like that. Okay, put a dash and then I'm just seeing how many of them have at least some knowledge on it. Looks like most of you guys have, you guys no, not at all. All right. Yes. Okay. There's finally one person. Okay, another person. All right. So in this class, there's a mixture. Oh, you have done intern as a PhD programmer, and then you should be. You did Laravel, is it, Charlie? All right, guys. Since this is an online class, so I like to be interactive and also please respond to this chat, or you can also feel free to unmute and answer my question. All right. Only then we won't feel so boring in that class. Or else this is not a physical class, so it might feel very boring if I am the only one who's talking here. All right. So, well, oh, Kari is doing Laravel. All right. So Laravel is actually a framework of PHP. All right. So if you want to, it's mostly used for backend, right? All right. So let me move on. Okay. What is website? Can anyone attend? Can briefly explain what is website? Why we are doing website? What's the use of website? Come on, guys. Type in the chat. Briefly, maybe in one or two words. Website. What's the use of website? Why in the world there is website? Not about creating website. I mean, generally, why we use website? What's the purpose of website? Yeah, for blogs. Yeah, giving informations and to do some tasks, shopping. Yep, yep, correct. Fantastic, guys. All right. So actually, a website is a collection of web pages that are hosted on web server and can be accessed using web browser over the internet, which means usually we have files in our laptops or PC, right? But then when it comes to website, it's already in online, so everyone can access to the file. You got it or not? All right. So we can see here how website works is when we click on the Google Chrome or Mozilla Firefox or anything, or Opera or whatever, any web browser. All right. When you click, but let's say we are typing www.facebook.com. All right. When you enter www, okay, for example, here www.learncomputerscienceonline.com. All right. So this is we called it as domain. Domain is something like in the shop. Okay, at shop we can see a signboard, right? Okay, signboard is actually a domain. All right, and the shop is the uh, server where we can store all these websites. All right. So when we click on this domain, it will go to DNS. Okay, DNS is something that translates URL into IP address. Okay, usually these letters alphabets, all right, is not understand by computer. Computer just knows binary 0110 blah blah blah. All right, so this helps to translate and find out the actual IP address, and then it will send to web server. It will respond to this. And then it will send to the right web server. Okay, in the web server you'll find the folder, which means this website, this particular website, and then this will be displayed to the user. All right. Anyone has any questions here on how website works? This is a very basic. Okay, looks like no one has any questions. All right, so let me move on. Okay, how many types of website do you know? Can you uh, share in the chat? How many types of website do you know? Types, not the name of the website. Types of website. Maybe I can give an example. Like just now they said blogs. Yeah, blog is a type of website. There's also shopping. Shopping means e-commerce. E-commerce website. All right. Other than that, what other website do you know? Yeah, social media is on a website. Yeah, news. Yeah, dynamic is a general term. Now, landing pages is also a type of website. All right. So cool. So you can see they are like, not only this, there are a lot more. Okay, lot more education. Even there's this company profile, and even you can see what do we call that? Entertainment is like Netflix, and so on lah. All right. So just now someone said dynamic website. Okay, let me briefly introduce to you. Generally, we can classify website into two categories, which are static and dynamic. All right. Static is a website, like similar something like Wikipedia. Do you know what is Wikipedia, right? All right. Wikipedia, we can't change that. We can just read. When we access to Wikipedia, we can just see and read. That's all as a user you can do. All right, but I think how we can do some changes, but I'm not sure. But actually, those days, Wikipedia is just to read. All right, something like blocks. All right, but when it comes to dynamic, dynamic is where we can make changes to the website. All right, for like our current modern websites lah. All right, we can interact with the website, we can send something, we can submit form, we can basically we can do the create, retrieve, sorry, create, read, update, delete. CRUD. Wow, who's the latecomer? Welcome, Shafizan. Right. So CRUD, remember this CRUD. CRUD is maybe for some of you it will be a new term. So CRUD means create, read, update, delete. All right. So if you're able to do all this when you create websites, then you already understand on how to develop a website already. All right. Okay. So let me come into the our main topic today, which is HTML and CSS. Okay, today we will be doing all the most basic parts lah about HTML. Basically, we're going to get some exposure what is HTML and CSS. That's our goal for today. All right, and also on how to set up Visual Studio. Did everyone install Visual Studio? I think we already informed the Discord. So if those who haven't, uh, meanwhile we are going through the slides, you can download. All right. Okay. So HTML. Okay. Let me ask you guys. Uh, okay, let me explain to you. HTML is actually a language. Uh, it's not really a programming language. Okay, JavaScript is a programming language. Python is a programming language. PHP, yes, it's a programming language. But HTML and CSS is not a programming language. All right, it's actually a markup language. HTML and CSS is actually a styling. All right, so uh, so don't get confused. Don't think that HTML is a language, and though if you attend an interview, don't say that HTML CSS is a programming language. All right. Okay, HTML is a markup language, and CSS is a styling. So let me explain in other form what is HTML and CSS. Okay, assume that HTML is our skeleton. It's like skeleton. It's a structural layer. Actually, there are three types of layer in websites. First is structural layer, which is HTML, and then presentation layer. Presentation layer is actually CSS to style our skin tone, our hairstyles, our clothes. All right, that's for style. That's what we use CSS. The third one is like JavaScript. Even we can use Python for web development. So JavaScript is the most common. So JavaScript is actually a behavior layer. Okay, remember these three types of layers: structure layer, presentation layer, and behavior layer. All right. So basically, in this there is structure layer and presentation layer, and if you want to relate to our body, then I think JavaScript is actually our brain. All right. So HTML is our skeleton. It 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 fixes where it says it shows where is the head at the top. Okay, and then this is our hand. All right. This is how we set a human skeleton. Same goes here. How we set our website, where we put our video, where we put our navigation bar, where we put our maybe header, blah blah blah. All right. So HTML is actually a structural layer. All right. And CSS is where we do all the stylings like animations, like colors, backgrounds. All right. And then what else? Even we can change the font styles and so many things. All right. So let me show you an example. Okay, this is actually an example of HTML structure. Have anyone seen this code before? Let me ask me like this. Have anyone ever not seen this before? Top nothing. Type 2 maybe. If you have never seen this at all in your life. Oh, there is. Yes, free code can. I'm asking that you have never seen before. How HTML codes look. This is the first time ever you're seeing. This is how HTML looks like. All right. I think maybe some. All right. I think most of you guys knows. All right. So this is how HTML structure example looks like, and later, don't worry, later we will code together. All right, so let me briefly explain what is it all about. Okay, the doc type HTML, actually in HTML, we are going to learn HTML5. All right, so for HTML5, we need to, oh, someone's joining. Hi, Hatira, welcome. All right, so in this doc type HTML, we are saying that, okay, whenever the web browser sees this, okay, it knows that we are using HTML5. So that is why it's really important to declare what HTML it is. So it's, and then this is the only tag which doesn't have close. Okay, you can see that HTML as closure tag, right? Head as a closure tag, body as a closure body, title as a closure. All right, but then this doctor HTML doesn't it's not required. All right, and then the next one is the root element HTML. Okay, next is the header. Con- in the header, we usually will include title and also meta tags. Okay, so later I will go, maybe in the next class, I will go deeply about what is meta tags and all that. Maybe today we'll learn about titles. All right, next is the body. Body is where we will do a lot of codings. Okay, where we will build the structure of our website. All right, so remember this doctor, HTML, head, and body, the most basic, and also the title. All right, and then this is how css looks like, an example. Okay, and there are three types of css for your information, which is inline css. We will code something like this. We will code inside the tag. Okay, and then there is internal css. Internal css will be done here. Can you see style, h1 color, then we close the style. Okay, we will do all the css in between the style tags. All right, and the final one is the external css. That is the most common, I think. uh, Many developers prefer using external css. If in my case, I'm using, most of the time I'll use tailwind css. Okay, it's a framework. All right, so in tailwind css, it will look more like inline css. I prefer that, but it's all about preference. But usually it will be either inline or external. Very rare people use internal, as far as I've seen. All right. So for external CSS, we need to import the file into the head, something like this. Okay. No worries. Of all, we will practice all this in upcoming classes. All right. So let's go. Okay. So let's try together in JS Feeder first. Then later we will download the Visual Studio Code. All right. So can everyone open this website jsfeeder.net? Let me share my. Okay. Can everyone see my screen? If you can see, you can type 1 1. All right, Ganesh, right? Ganesh Jairas. Sorry if I'm pronouncing wrongly. All right, you could explain better on inline, external, and internal again. All right, guys, I'll explain again. Okay, inline CSS. This is the example of inline CSS. Can you see here? H1. Basically, we are doing the header. Okay, so when we are this is the header, this is a heading. Okay, we are changing this heading color to red. So this is how you type inline css. Inline css is what you write css inside body, to be simple. All right, and internal css is what you write css inside head, like this, style h1, then you change the color orange. Okay, external css is that you'll create a separate file, and then you write all your CSS codes there in a separate file, and then you will import that file here. So I've created this mystyle.css. So I'm importing this file, and then later I will be referring all my CSS code to that external file. Okay, is my answer clear, Ganesh? If it's clear, you can maybe send thumbs up or one, two. Anyone has any questions so far before I proceed further? Okay, be quick, guys. We're running out of time. No worries, Ganesh. You can also even contact me, no problem. No worries. I'm just briefly explaining to you. I haven't even started yet. Okay, so maybe you might have some confusions and a lot of questions, but then in next classes, in upcoming classes, you can understand better. Meanwhile, that you can go to W3 schools and explore. Okay, I will usually refer to W3 schools. That's the best. Or else some people prefer YouTube. You can go to YouTube and go through it. Okay, I'm just briefly showing some examples. I haven't go in detail yet, so maybe in upcoming classes you'll understand better. All right, for today, let's begin on how to write HTML. Okay, let's move to JS Feeder. Okay, can everyone see HTML, CSS, JavaScript wizard? Okay, so today we're gonna learn a bit of HTML and CSS. Okay, as an introduction. So first, do you remember what's the structure of HTML? So the first one is actually doc type. Got it? Doc type. Then HTML. So you guys can follow me, like how I'm typing. Doc type HTML CSS. Okay. Then open HTML tag and close. In JS Feeder, it will help us to close by automatically will help us to close. Then what do we need to type? Okay, now in always remember our body. We have a head and body, right? So type head. Then below the head, type body. Okay, if possible, please move a bit inside. Okay, I think okay, this is all right. So inside the head, there is title. So first type title. Okay, guys, if you have any questions, you can unmute and ask me, or even can send message. No, this is not Visual Studio Code. I haven't just for just this is just an introduction, so I'm just using the online editor. After this, so just feeder, I will help everyone to download Visual Studio Code and also install set up the install Visual Studio Code after this. Okay, so now we try first with JS feeder. Okay, remember this. This is the doc type HTML, then head body. Okay, and then inside the head there is title. Okay, so let's type maybe, okay, do you know what is title? Title is the one at the tab. Can you see at the tab meet, in even in our tab there is our Gmeet tab. You can see that meet under dash UPT dash MBGPH. This is title. Okay, even JS feeder, you can see at the tab, right? JS feeder dash code playground. All right. So that is what we call as title. So for example, let me name my title. Sorry, and then run. It shows nothing. Okay, because this will be shown in browser. Later when we start coding in Visual Studio Code, you can see this on the tab. All right. So anyone has any question with the title? Is everyone clear? Come on, guys. Maybe this time can type 333. So far, everyone clear? Okay, wonderful. So next, we move on to body. Okay, let me introduce to you the first tag in HTML. So which is uh, maybe P tag. Okay, P stands for paragraph. Okay, basically for normal general uh, text, we can use P tags. Okay, so maybe I can say hello world. So So is everyone able to get this hello world? This is what okay, this is the P tag. Okay, maybe we can try another one. H1 tag. This is header, the biggest header. H1. So we can say welcome to later. Okay, then run. Yeah. So everyone able to achieve this? Okay. It's a sending thumbs up. All right. Good. Anyone has any problem so far? Those who have any problem, you can unmute and ask me, or even can type in the chat box. I think it's clear. All right. So now let's try a CSS. Okay, for CSS, uh, now I can try inline CSS. Okay, today we will learn inline CSS briefly. Don't get today I'm just letting you guys to try hands-on cuba-cuba je. Alright, next week onwards I will be going in deep with HTML and CSS. Alright, so today you can just follow and see how this everything is working and all that. And just explore lah. Okay, so maybe today we will learn inline CSS. Okay, or else never mind, we start first. So types, okay, type inside this h1 tag style, then equals, then code, maybe say color. Okay, we are using American English and don't put COLOUR. Salah. Okay, it never show. So use American English COLOR. Then we will put rate. Okay, like that. See, now the header is rate. Okay, what this is inline style. Okay, just now someone asked me, right, what is inline, in external and all that. Welcome, Renusha. All right. So this is inline style. Okay, maybe I want to make this hello world to maybe what color? Can suggest a color? Okay, maybe yellow. All right. Style then equals code color some color column then yellow. So now you can see hello is yellow in color. All right. What if I want to do these two styles internal CSS? Okay. That's now this is actually inline CSS. Inline CSS. All right. So now I'll do internal CSS. For internal, okay, go to head. You can see here. Go to inside it. Then type style. Okay. So inside the style tag, okay, now I want to change this h1 to rate, right? Delete this. Okay. Now you can type h1. Okay. Then put open curly bracket and close curly bracket. Then put this. This code is not required. Sorry. Okay. Now can you see? Still in red, right? So let me try something else. Maybe orange. So can you see? It has been changed. So this is what we called as uh, internal CSS. Okay, the one inside the head is internal CSS, and the one inside the body is inline CSS. Okay, what if I want to do external CSS. Okay, maybe I want to change this p tag to maybe a different color. So in I think over here, can we do this? Okay, uh, this is a bit this JS feeder is a bit advanced. When you type CSS over here, it automatically detects. Supposedly, we should import inside the head for external CSS. So for that, we need to type link to import CSS. Usually, we'll create a separate file, maybe any names, my style or whatever. So we need to import this link, then val equals soup, then type. This is called a normal one. Okay, text CSS, then href. href is the link for the usually put the pack for the website. So don't worry about all this. Okay, later we will learn all this in deep. We will do my style.css. Okay, it's showing some error because in this is we can't do this inside the JS feeder. Maybe in Visual Studio Code we can do. Actually, in Visual Studio Code we can do all this. Okay, maybe this is a bit advanced because we already provide the CSS here, so it's not supporting. But remember that when you put inside the tag, that's called as inline CSS. When you put inside the head, okay, like this is internal CSS. And when you create a separate file and then you import inside this head, then it is external CSS. All right. So far, any questions? Is everyone clear? Come on, guys. Feel free to unmute. I like to listen to your
Uh,
cute voice.
Hello,
Okay. Hello,
I have a
Nazan.
question.
Yes.
So what if I want to change to variable? Uh, uh,
Want change
uh,
what?
uh, Change like this your example is the color, right? But if I want to change the
Background,
size of
background, fonts, and all that, right?
yes.
Yeah, actually, we can change all that. Okay, we can change. Okay, maybe I can show more examples. And share other one. I'll go to WG schools. Okay, I can show a lot of examples there. Okay, guys, don't be shy to use all these online references. It's really important. Even till today, every time when I code, since I'm using React, okay, each time when I move to a different project with different frameworks, libraries, I'll forget the old one. So most of the time, I'll be referring back to the documentation. So that's how in reality, right? So no worries on looking at the documents. But what's the most important part in understanding the web development is like the concept. If you remember the concept, then you already understand on how to develop. So that's why you asked me how to change the font sizes and all that. Actually, in CSS, there's a lot. Okay, we will cover all that in I think next month in September classes. Okay, in August we'll be covering all the HTMLs. All right. So next month in September, sorry, in August we'll be covering all the HTML. All right. Maybe in the last class before the competition, okay, I'll be covering a bit of CSS, right? But then in September, we'll be going in deep. So over in September, we'll be learning all these CSS like box model and so on. Lah. So just now you asked me how to change the font style. So can you see here? This is how you write font style. So and px is actually a unit, okay, like centimeter meter, okay. In CSS, we use px, and there's a lot, en, blah 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 blah. Can you see that? There's a lot. Even you can use percentage and all that. Okay, so you can try. Come on. You can stop sharing. Okay, so we can try. I can put it here. So at each time, once you finish, you have to put semicolon. And don't forget the semicolon, or else there will be syntax error. Alright, font size is 40 px. So which one? It's not. Oh, it's H1. Okay, that's one. We can try here for the Peter. Hmm. Oh, it's JS figure as okay. Syntax error. Sorry. See, when I didn't put this semicolon, it's showing syntax error. So always don't forget to put the semicolon. So now, can you see? Let's change it here. I can try 100. So in CSS, there's a lot. There's a lot. You can go through WG schools meanwhile waiting for the September classes. Okay, you can see there's icons. You can also style the text, font styles, colors, backgrounds. Okay, then sorry, I'm not sharing. What's that? Okay, so you can see that in CSS there's actually a lot. So in the September class, I will cover the most common ones. Okay, so you can go through here for others, those who are really curious to know, you can go through in this. You can go through borders, what is margins, borders, margins, paddings, height and width, everything will be covered in box model concepts. All right, and then there's a text styles, text background colors. Okay, and also animation is actually a bit advanced, so maybe we can cover in upcoming classes. All right, did I answer your question? Was Nazran?
Clear, sir.
Okay, thank you so much. All right, so let's move on to downloading visual. Okay, before moving on to Visual Studio Code, anyone has any questions? Okay, why Kamal asked me what is semicolon is used for? Okay, semicolon is okay. Do you know? Always is this is not a good term to use, right? But just apologize me before I say. uh, actually, computer is actually very dumb. It's stupid. Okay, it doesn't know anything. If you didn't put semicolon, it will assume that it's the same thing, it's the same line. It doesn't know there's a space, blah blah blah. Okay, so we need to put semicolon to tell the computer that the next one is okay, like over here after this color, this is a second one, second CSS. Okay, second thing. Or else it will assume everything is the same till it sees the semicolon. All right. So that is why it's really important to put this. If you have some basic understanding of programming, you know that these are all like we call it as syntax. Okay, in Python, I think they don't use all the semicolons, but in JavaScript, when you learn C, C++, everything, yeah, there is a very common one. All right. Did I answer your question, Kamal? And Ramesh asked me, can I know more about the indentation, starting new lines in HTML, or do we wait for VS Code section? Uh, chill, bro, chill, Ramesh. I know you're curious. This is just an example, all right? I'm just going bit slow, just giving you roughly what is web development because some of you have already learned something. Some of you have already know what is web development. Maybe they are here just to recall and learn more. And some over here are very like 0%. They don't know anything about web development. So I have to go like the medium speed. All right. So upcoming classes will do a lot of practices. So a lot of projects. So when we are doing a lot of projects, you are getting hands-on. So you'll learn a lot of. You might get. You can answer. You'll get the answers for your questions. All right. So let's move on to setting up web development. Let me stop sharing. Okay, guys. So Okay, let me share my entire screen. Hey guys, to download Visual Studio Code, you need to go to Visual Studio Code page. Okay. Then if you're using Mac, you can click Mac. If you're using Windows, you can click Windows, then download. Okay, I've already downloaded. Okay, this is my Visual Studio Code. Anyone here haven't downloaded yet? Siapa belum download? Or else I can give like 1 or 2 minutes time. Semua dah download. If dah download, kawan, type 111. Those who haven't download, type 2. Okay, siapa belum? Type 2. Looks like everyone is done. Okay, cool. Then we can start with downloading all these, setting up the Visual Studio Code. I think I'll use this. Maybe easy. Okay, guys. So let me share my screen. Okay, is my screen visible? Okay, guys. Okay, I'm showing. I'm not using this one. Uh, oh, it's. Whenever I use this, it will be much better. All right. So let me introduce. When you open your Visual Studio Code, you can open your Visual Studio Code. Okay, you can open, and also maybe you can. Okay, let me just. Okay, so over here, can you see this is file? Okay, okay. You usually okay. Let us create something. Okay, guys, go to your desktop. Okay, go to your desktop. Okay, you go to my desktop. Okay, go to your desktop. Create new folder. Okay, and then uh name it as what do we call that? Okay, name it as come on, uh anything. Maybe name it as a Crenovator, right? Crenovator. Okay, then go to HTML, click open. Actually, you can just drop, but never mind. I'll go step by step. And then look for Crenovator app. Okay, then just click I trust there. Oops, not this. No distance. Okay, guys, we have just 15 minutes. All right. So the next step is we already opened our folder. Basically, we are opening our folder inside the Visual Studio Code. That's all. Okay. So inside the Visual Studio Code, you can create a new file. Maybe, uh, well, maybe okay. Name your first file. Okay, to create your first file. Sorry. To create your first file, click this icon. Is it visible? Click this icon. Can you see? Click this icon. Okay, then type index.html. So this is where we don't forget to put this .html. Only then this browser will understand that this is website. If you put something like .png or whatever, then it will be a different file. So this extension is very important. So index, usually we put index.html for the first page. Okay, usually the browser will look for index file. So usually we will put the index file as the home page. All right. So this is how we create. Okay, let's explore more. Okay, this is the search button. In the search button, okay, as usual, it's used for searching. All right. Then in search button, you can search for your code, you can search for files and all that. All right. And then this is Git. Okay. Anyone knows what is Git? Who don't know what is Git? Type three. You know what is tree? What is tree? What is Git? Sorry, Git. Okay, Git is actually a version controller. So maybe I can share this. What is okay? Can Git is actually a version controller. Okay, usually when you are working together with many people, I mean in a team, okay, Git will be really helpful. Even when you work as individual freelancer or whatever, Git will be really useful. Uh, Sometimes sometimes we will make some changes and then we want to revert back. Okay, the Git is something like we can revert back to our older versions and all that. Okay, it's a version controller. Maybe in the future we can have a separate class for Git. All right, or else it will take a long time. Okay, so this is okay, let me share my screen. Okay, this is for Git. So usually in the Git we can, okay, usually in the Git, okay, usually in Git we can connect to our GitHub, and then we can make our pushes, we can make our pull files and all that. All right, and then this is for debugs. Okay. This is for debug. Debugging is usually for something like to find bugs. Will be helpful when finding bugs or to test something and all that. Lah. All right, and then next is the extensions. Okay, the final one is the extensions. Extension is used Extensions is used. Ignore all the others. This is all what I've downloaded. Okay, ignore all this. Okay, the most important one is Explorer, search, source control, debug, and also the extensions. Okay, extension is something like plugins. Okay, will help us when we are doing codes. Like just now in JS Feeder, we when we type the open tag, it automatically helps us to close tag, right? But over here, can you see? When I type HTML, oh yeah, I already downloaded the extension. If you since you guys haven't downloaded any extensions yet, we can when you type HTML, it won't close like how it happened to mine. Okay, it won't close. It will be something like this only. You have to close by yourself. All right. If you already have all those all these plugins, okay, it will be helping you when you're writing the codes. For example, even if you forgot to put semicolons or something like that, it will help you to complete your code. All right. So let's download. Okay, there's another one. Sorry. Find and run. Okay, this one is when you want to find something inside the Visual Studio Code. This is to find in your files. Okay, inside your files, inside this file, this search button. And this one, for that, you need to use control. Sorry, in my Mac, I'll be using this CMD Shift P. In Windows, I'm not sure. Anyone can help me? Okay, I'll be going through that. We're going to install that. No worries. We're going to install that now. Okay. Okay. By the way, to open this, oh my God. Okay, to open this, I don't know how to open the window. Not sure. But in Mac, you can click Command Shift and P. Yeah. Thank you, Sharil. Thank you so much. So in okay, over here you can look for files. Okay, that's another one. I think that's a different one. Common a Control Shift P, I think, for Windows. Okay, so you can look for like snippets, emit, and all that. But this is all when you start using day by day, you will get used to it, lah. All right, so you can ignore that for now. Okay, let's move on to the plugins. Okay, So the first plugin that you require to install is actually, let's see what happened. I click something. All right, go to this extension part, okay, and then type auto close tag. Go to this extension again. Go to this extension, okay. Go to this extension, then type auto close tag. Auto close tag, okay. Then you can download this. Sorry, download this one, okay. Download the first one. Look at this thing. This will help you to close text like just now. When I type HTML, can you see it's closing by itself? Okay, when I type maybe hate, see it's closing. So this is will be helpful to close your tags lah. Or else will be sometimes when you do a lot of codings, when you do when in reality you'll be typing a lot, there'll be few hundreds, thousands of lines. So sometimes you might have missed something, some tags to close. So it'll be really leceh lah to find out where is it. So these kind of plugins will be really helpful. All right, so the next plugin is, by the way, anyone have any issues in downloading the plugin? Okay, come on. Okay, anyone have any issues? Come on again. Okay, can you guys try? Let's try for the next one. Okay, let's try for the next one, which is auto rename tag. Okay, auto rename tag. Let's change. Okay, this auto rename tag is actually sometimes if you're downloading some plugins, you can whatever. You can actually go through the descriptions. All right. So this auto rename tag is useful when I don't know mine is working or not. I'm not sure whether it's okay. It's working. All right. You can see I'm changing this opening tag only the opening tag. And I'm changing it to something. Okay, never mind. I'll do it here at body. Okay, in body there is p tag, right? Okay. Then I type hello world. Okay. So over here, now I decided to change this p tag to h1. Okay. So what will happen is that usually we will change here and then we will change manually this one. Okay. Since we already installed this auto rename tag, when you change the opening tag, it will automatically will change the closing tag itself. See, it's changing. Can you see? Maybe I can focus. Okay. Can you see here? I'm changing this p tag only at the open tag. Okay. So I'm just changing to H1. See, the closing tag is also changed. All right. So next one. So the next extension is CSS pick. Okay, CSS pick. I haven't installed it. Okay, never mind. Okay, you can go to this. Look at this logo here. Look for this logo. Okay, this CSS pick is useful usually when you are doing external CSS or even internal CSS. All right. For example, right, maybe I type maybe, okay, uh, okay, maybe you type here. We are doing internal CSS now. The style, now I'm changing this H1. Okay, now I'm changing the color to red. All right. So when I, okay, the CSX. Okay, sometimes your extensions will never work till you restart your PC. Maybe there's also some this kind of issues. Okay, so I think you can see the example here. Okay, can you see here inside this video? Okay, can you see over here? So usually this CSS pig will be something like when you use in CSS we use selectors. So selectors means this is selector H1. This is element selector. Okay, so which selector means we are saying that H1. This H1 change to color red. Okay, we are selecting this, okay, to change to red. And also there's another way of writing. This is elements here selectors. Okay, no worries, don't get confused. Okay, this CSS will be covered in the September classes. So when we are doing CSS, you know what's the benefit of the CSS bit much better. Someone is joining. Okay, is it confusing? I got any questions? All right, if no, then we'll continue. Okay, the next one is prettier code formatter. Okay, prettier code formatter. So look for prettier. Okay, this is the one. This prettier code formatter is used to. Can you see my code is like well organized. Like, can you see the hierarchy first, the head, then when I put a new tag here again, maybe meta tag. Can you see? And then why it's not closing? Okay, this meta tag maybe okay, typing span inside here. Usually this is how it will organize now. This is what we call okay. This prettier code formatter will help us to make our code prettier. That's all. Actually, it will arrange and help us to arrange. Just like in JS video, you can see that all our code was at one side, and I was doing it manually. Last step, then I think our class is over. Just 5 more minutes. Okay. So shall I continue? Is everyone ready? Come on, type 111. Okay, guys. Let me share my screen. Okay, can I boleh tak tahu uh, where the class was stopped just now? Because just now I was speaking like like an idiot all alone. Okay, thank you. So prettier faham tak semua? Dah faham kan? Because I think I was teaching myself the live server, another plugin already. Actually, I dah siap dah tadi. Dan tiba-tiba tengok kelas dah tadi. Okay, okay, alright. Okay, guys. So the last one is actually after prettier. Okay, prettier. Okay, let me briefly go through. Prettier is to make our code pretty. That's all. Okay, our code is usually will be very long and very hard to read. Okay, our code prettier actually helps us to make our code prettier. Like this, it will be well organized. Mine, I think sometimes, okay, for those who have just downloaded all these extensions, sometimes it might not work. You have to restart your PC. So maybe after this class, you can restart and try one by one. All right. because even when you click on this plug extension itself, you can see all the descriptions. Even you can Google about that. All right. So the next extension is the last one is actually live server. Okay. So install this live server. There's a lot. Okay. Install this live server. Okay. This live server is actually uh, reflects our changes immediately in our preview. Okay. Usually when we open, can you see? I've opened. This is the website. Huh? Okay. I've opened this index website. Okay. Assume that I've opened in Google Chrome. All right. Maybe I can open the Google Chrome. Never mind. Okay, assume that this is a Google Chrome. So what this live server helps us in what way is that actually, for example, now this H1 tag is in orange. Okay, it's in orange. What will happen when we change to rate? If there is no live server, we actually need to reload the page to see the changes. Okay, since we already installed this live server, you can immediately see the changes. It will immediately reflect the changes. So when I change to rate, it will immediately change. When I change to maybe I add another, yeah, remove this one. Oh God. Okay. Maybe I put another one. Maybe I put 3. Okay, H3 is much smaller than H1. Okay. So maybe I put header 3. Header 3. Okay. To do CSS for this header 3, we can type H3 curly open curly bracket close bracket. Then color I got maybe blue. Okay. Then semicolon. So can you see it's immediately reflected. Kalau live server tu tak ada, and we need to reload our page. We need to save the code and then reload. Alright. So I think it's clear. And last one, bonus for you guys. Okay, since you guys waited till 10:28 already. So I'll teach another extension, live preview. Kalau dah download this live preview, can you see? I can see the preview here, right? Inside the Visual Studio Code itself. So it'll be easier for you when you're doing your projects. So this is what is use of live preview. Live preview, yeah. Live preview. So once the install your live preview, you can go here. So you can go here and click this one. Okay. So just now I was telling I was sharing about this title right at the header. Maybe I can share this. We have like 1 more minute. Okay, this is the title right at the header. We are remove all the styles for you to clearly see. Kenapa tu fikir kat mana mungkin. Okay. Alright. So, oh, now it's open. Okay. So can you see the title? This title is actually at the tab. Can you see at the tab? Hello. Okay, let me change the title to maybe web renovator lah. Senang. Renovator. So can you see? It's changing. Okay. So this is title for. Alright. So maybe I can put hello. So this is the use of title. Alright guys. So actually that's all for today. Any questions guys? Feel free to ask. You can even give some feedbacks. If you have any comments, if I'm too slow or anything, you can also let me know. Maybe next class I can improve because I always used to do physical classes. I rarely use online. I used to do during PKP, but now dah macam lama tak buat kan. How can we open the preview? Okay, I think I already explained which extension I love to use. I just now, whatever extension I said just now is all what I love to use. I even use more than that. Okay, I actually use more than that. Since if you use React, you have separate extensions for React. If you use Tailwind CSS, you have separate extensions on for all that. So it's like, you know, everyone has their own preference. Okay, there are a lot of plugins. I think there are millions or whatever. I don't know the numbers, but there are a lot. There are a lot. Okay, if you don't know what, if you want to learn more about these extensions in Visual Studio Code, you can actually randomly look to find it out in YouTube. Okay, you can. I usually find it out in YouTube. Sometimes I'll watch. Nowadays I rarely watch tutorials. Okay, I'll just those days when in the beginning stage I'll usually watch YouTube tutorials. Okay, I will try to imitate how they do the codings. What are the plugins they are using? What are the shortcuts they use and all that. From my experience, what challenges I faced as a front-end developer, to be honest, front end is much more challenging than back end. Back end is actually, some says hard. Yeah, maybe it's a bit hard because to understand it at the beginning stage will be a bit challenging. But it depends on people. Some people says back end is much easier. Some says front end. Okay, for me, front end is easy to understand because I stick to JavaScript as JavaScript development. Okay, so I always go for JavaScript frameworks like React is a library, and then Vue.js. All these are JavaScripts. So in front end, the challenging part is actually, uh, you know, front end. They will frequently update the documentation, so you have to keep update yourself. Now, those days when React first launched, in the beginning stage of React, okay, I first used React in 2019, okay, during my internship. So I was using all these class components, and then after my internship, I continued my final year. Then when I was okay. Usually, even when I was doing my final year, I was also doing part-time freelance and all that. So uh, after my final year, they already updated the documentation to functional functional components. So you see, they're updating their documents very fast for front end because front end is the most important one. That is what user is seeing. Backend is something at behind. It's not seen by the user. So sometimes even Pachante pun dia tak kisah sangat. So sometimes the update for backend documentation is like a bit slower compared to front end. Correct me if I'm wrong, as far as I know. Alright. Which language I prefer for web development as a beginner? Okay, come on guys, don't get confused with Laravel and JavaScript. Yeah? Okay, first step. Okay, let me share some of my. Oh, I'm using Tab9. Yeah, yeah, I'm using Tab9. Okay, Tab9. Okay, Tab9 is actually is help us to complete our. It's actually an AI which actually help us to complete our codes. And in the beginning stage, I'm not recommending to use Tab9 now because I'll say it will make you to not understand. You have to code. You have to type first. Learn the basics first. Learn the basic HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Then you can go to PHP. Okay, to explore more on server. Now SSR lah basically. All right. Okay. Do you know there's two types of website? Okay, client side, client side website, and also a server side. Okay, we call that server side as SSR, and the client side rendering actually CSR. Okay, so you can explore all that in Google. Maybe I can type SSR, CSR. Okay, client side rendering. You can explore about that more. Okay, all this, and you can explore server side rendering. Okay, PHP is server side rendering, and all these like uh, next JS is server side, React is actually client side. All right, so you can find it out what's the difference and all that. All right, you can use tab time. Mine the Chat GPT uh in my Visual Studio Code is not working. Okay, uh, Tab9 is working. It's helping me to auto complete my code. So that makes okay. All these extensions just helping us our work learn. Basically, they make our job faster and easier. That's all. Okay. So for web development beginning, learn this HTML, CSS, JavaScript properly. Okay, maybe if you guys are following up till the end, everyone is like giving a good cooperation, everyone supporting these classes. Then I think I'll come out with more classes like PHP class, maybe React and all that. I can do that if a lot of there's demand, then I can do. Okay. Any other questions?
Uh, s- so
Mm. Yes, yes.
just now, just now you say you use Tailwind. Tailwind is a framework, right, for CSS.
Tailwind CSS.
So can you tell me what is a framework? Explain
Okay.
to me.
Okay, let me share my screen. Let's, I'll show you the Tailwind documentation. Okay. Okay, this is the documentation. Okay, framework is something that you don't need to type from scratch now, basically. And I think flow basically for Tailwind, I usually use flow. Alright. So for example, a button, okay? Usually in CSS, if you want to do buttons, you have to do a long CSS. Where's button? Hmm. Okay, can you see? So if I'm using Tailwind CSS, I no need to code everything from scratch. I just download, import this library, and then just copy this code and paste. Okay, maybe I can show an example of my project. Uh, mm, okay, this one. Anyone can see, right? So maybe I can show a simple one. Yes. This one. Okay, let me show you the. Okay, this is the website actually. Okay, here's the button. Can you see? Get in touch. Okay, so let me get the button. Where's the component? This is so I didn't do the button for where's the button? Okay, this is the button. So over here, I'm basically just importing this. Okay, importing this from Tailwind CSS. For actually, basically, I'm importing all this. Sorry, I'm importing this. Okay, maybe I can give you a simple example, not simple example. Even a simple example. Um, maybe card. Okay, lah, navigation bar. All right. I don't need to code, for example, this whole navigation bar from scratch. All right. It's already here. You can check it out. All right. So it's already here. Here's an example. So you can just take this and then edit according to your requirements. All right. You can see the drop down and all that. So usually, that's how I do the. Kalau you have to type everything from scratch and all that. Oh my God, you're taking a lot of time. So that's why we use all these Tailwind CSS. All right. As per I know, banking industry avoid to use open source like PHP. Okay, when you come to all these corporate worlds, uh, uh, we usually they use mostly very stable technology. Sometimes they don't upgrade because they're worried about the security and so on. Lah. So that is why I'm doing Android there. So even I heard that for backend and all that, they're using very old technologies. Yes, what you said, they're not using PHP, if I'm not mistaken. Lah. But their projects in banking industry, their number one priority is security. That is why they don't go into all these latest technology very quickly. They won't quickly do the transition. And to do the transition, they need a big budget, okay, because they need to do everything from scratch again, maybe. All right, that is why. All right. So .NET is also one of the SSR entry. I'm not sure about .NET. Never explored over that before, but I know PHP. PHP, yeah, SSR. .NET is SSR. So I'm not sure whether .NET is a SSR. I think so as far as in this. Okay, I'm not an expert in .NET. Sorry. Okay, another one from Shara. What is important phase in web development since we know there is coding and also documentation? What is the most crucial when it comes to interview for the web developer for fresh grades? Okay, guys, for fresh grades, the most important one, better to have better to focus on one rather than too many. For example, let's say in my case, when I joined as a fresh grade, I focused on React and also Android because that is what I learned during my internship and I've done real projects. So because my internship was like 8 months, so I did two projects, one for Honda, which is React, another one for Malaysian Thoracic Society, which is Android. So I was very confident with it and I explored even further because I already know the basics. No, I then after my final year, during my break, I learned a lot more advanced advanced Android, advanced React, and all that. So, and then also I developed like a few pages, few examples usually during interviews. What I face is that they usually will ask for all these portfolios. Okay, you don't just give portfolio website. Maybe you can have a GitHub. Okay, very important GitHub. So explore what is GitHub. Okay, if you don't know. Second is that if do a lot of practice. Maybe you can try what they're doing in YouTube tutorials and develop a website. And from there, you can update those websites from what you're learning. Maybe you develop a very simple, basic React.js website. Then later you can add on tailing CSS. And then slowly you can add on animation using framer motion or something. There are a lot of frameworks for animations as well. And we can slowly add more. Okay, so don't expect to learn everything in one shot. Learn one by one. That's my best advice would be lah for fresh career. So the usually the mostly what they will see is your technical skills, of course, because they know that you don't have much experience, but you can show your experience through your examples of website you have done. Okay, and second is that your GitHub, because through your GitHub they know how you code. So that is why it's good to start practicing from your first year itself. Learn how to code uh, nicely. Lah. For example, like just now, I downloaded the prettier code. Sometimes they don't download the prettier code extension. And all the codes will be the same line and very difficult to read. Out system. No, I don't know what is out system. I'm sorry. Currently, uh, I'm exploring more on React Native. I'm also planning to learn Flutter if possible because I'm doing freelance. Also, currently I'm running a company. So it's a freelance actually. So sometimes when you are a freelance, you need projects. So when you need projects, sometimes different people have different requirements. So usually I'll stick to React and Vue.js. I won't run away from that. If let's say I have some time and I want to explore more new things, then I'll explore new things. So if I get a project on Flutter, then I'll start learning Flutter. Usually, if you already master one something like React or maybe Angular or maybe a Vue or whatever, if you already mastered one, all the other frameworks will become easier to catch up. Lah. Any other questions, guys? Android app developments for native. Okay, there are two types for Android app developments. Okay, first you need to understand that they are hybrid and also they are native. Okay, I'm doing Android native applications, which means for Android and iOS separate coding, which means we have a separate team for iOS and also Android. So that is why I said I'm in Android team. So I'm doing a native Android application. However, I'm also doing React Native recently. Because React Native is like one code that you can use for both iOS and also uh, Android. But then, what will be in suitable projects? Usually, yes. When you come to SME companies, I mean, you're freelancing. You see, when it comes to SME companies, they have budget constraint, so they can't hire separate team for iOS and also Android. So they are looking for all this kind of React Native Flutter, lah. So that a few developers is enough to develop for both iOS and Android. They don't need to waste too much of money. Usually, the native apps will be done by all these big corporates. Nowadays, it's very close, native and hybrid, very very close. So you can't really see the much differences. But the difference is majorly if there's a new feature in Android, or for example, kalau Apple brought a new features for camera, they will first release for their Xcode, in Swift. Only then slowly it will come to React Native or Flutter or something. So that's the differences. But I think React Native and Flutter is like good enough already lah for SMEs. Native for I okay, I think I already answered all these questions. All right. Mm, mm. Okay. All right. Thank you so much, guys. If any question, you can ask in the Discord. All right. Take care. Bye bye.